Hello, my name is Andy Connolly and I'm an educator at the Kansas Geological Survey. I am right now in Colby, Kansas, standing upon the surface of the Ogallala Aquifer. This aquifer stretches for miles across western Kansas and serves as a valuable source of water for people, whether it's for plumbing, irrigation, or drinking. Yet its status looks grim, and if we're not careful, it may one day run out. In this episode, we will look at aquifers for their origins, their status, and what we can do to save them. To understand how aquifers are formed, we need to talk about surface water and groundwater. Surface water includes rivers, lakes, and reservoirs, basically any fresh water above ground. Meanwhile, groundwater, as its name implies, is water located within the ground. Groundwater forms when water from rain or rivers soaks beneath the surface. This process is called percolation. If a layer of bedrock underlies the groundwater, preventing it from seeping into the earth any deeper, then the water accumulates in this space. This forms an aquifer. Some Kansans rely on groundwater more than others. It actually varies greatly depending on where you live. If you live in the east, like Kansas City, Chanute, or Emporia, you'll likely get most of your water from the surface. But if you live on the western side, like Hayes, Dodge City, or Colby, your water comes from underground. This is largely determined by precipitation. The east side of Kansas can get well over 30 inches of rain every year, while the west side sometimes gets less than half of that. We can see that reflected in the ecosystems, with southeastern Kansas home to water-hungry trees, while the west has dry-loving sagebrush and cacti. The large amount of rain in eastern Kansas hydrates the rivers and provides easy access to surface water, whereas in the western Kansas, the higher evaporation rates and dry climate make it harder for surface water to accumulate. As such, western Kansans rely on the High Plains Aquifer for their water. The High Plains Aquifer is a massive, subterranean body of water that spans 8 states across the U.S. The region of the High Plains Aquifer in Kansas is divided into 3 sections: the Equus Beds, the Great Bend Prairie, and the largest and most important, the Ogallala Aquifer. The Ogallala Aquifer was formed by the Rocky Mountains. As the mountains rose, sediment broke off the hillsides and deposited eastward into Kansas. Huge blankets of sediment covered the state, creating porous layers of rock. This allowed water to easily seep from the surface and collect underground over thousands of years. The majority of the water used in western Kansas comes from the High Plains Aquifer. Since the 1950s, wells pumped water from the aquifer to support irrigation, plumbing, and drinking for the surrounding communities. However, in many places, the amount of water pumped each year outpaces the amount added by sources of surface water like rainfall. For instance, in the Ogallala Aquifer, rainfall recharges the aquifer less than 1 inch per year. By contrast, many areas lose over a foot of water due to pumping. Over the last few decades, these water levels have dropped drastically. At the current pumping rate, many areas of the aquifer will become unusable within a century. To better understand our effect on the aquifers, the Kansas Geological Survey, along with the Kansas Department of Agriculture, measure roughly 1,400 wells every year. These wells give us a peek at the aquifer's current water level. By measuring the water level, we can provide crucial data to policymakers and farmers, which helps them manage water resources. The Ogallala Aquifer annually contributes billions of dollars in agricultural revenue to the Kansas economy. To avoid the loss of this essential resource, local water users and producers are coming together to enact conservation efforts to slow and stabilize groundwater declines. Technological advancements in cell phone apps, irrigation systems, and crop varieties have reduced excessive water use and wastage. Studies have shown that these efforts are having a replenishing effect on water levels. The Ogallala Aquifer is an excellent example of our impact on the environment, yet our drive to save a valuable resource. With smart water management practices and community cooperation, we can ensure that our state's aquifers are sustained for generations to come. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.